welcome back to the Centre for Missional Leadership once more. And we've got this morning 5 minutes with Dr. Lance Wallnau, who's been our guest speaker here at CML this morning. Lance, thanks so much for coming and making time in your busy schedule. And I'm just going to start the clock now, and we can start the 5-minute interview from now. Lance, basically, what is this Seven Mountains thing that you're into?
The change and culture is such a complex subject. I needed to have a visual. So I basically started drawing pictures to just, for my own sake, clarify everything I was hearing. And I found that when I drew 7 mountains, I realized that those 7 mountains represent 7 literal dominions of influence that shape nations. And I started drawing those to explain it on napkins to other people. The next thing you know, I have CEOs of companies and statesmen walking around with those things, the illustrations in their pocket, and they show them to me later. And I realized, I think that the 7 mountains is a great metaphor for a complex subject, so anybody could grab it. 7 spheres of influence that shape the big mountain of what a city or a nation looks like.
And what are the 7 mountains?
Well, the 7 mountains, the first one, think of them as what are the influences that shape the minds of people. So this could go from the Asian culture all the way to the Middle East to the United States, and it's one template that fits every size. The first one is the religion mountain, how religion shapes your worldview, or what your ideas about God and faith are. The second mountain is the mountain of family, because moms and dads will shape the beliefs of their kids. The third is education. Whoever's got the head of that child growing up will have their heart when they're an adult. Government is the fourth mountain, because that's where the laws and the military and the decisions about what will be legislated are arrived at in terms of mind molders. And then the next one is going to be the media mountain, which shapes the arguments or the perception of what truly is happening behind the scenes and globally. And then the arts mountain is the next one, which is your celebration mountain. That's where you have your music, your musicians, your artists, your plays, and your athletes and people like that. And then the final one is the business mountain, where technology and money feeds all the other systems. And so business underwrites the culture.
Okay, so 7 spheres of influence. Can you just tell us quickly the Bill Bright, Lauren Cunningham story? Because, you know, I've told it a few times, but let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, it was like 1973, 1974. Bill Bright has a strong evangelical organization. Lauren Cunningham has a strong charismatic or Pentecostal organization. The 2 largest youth groups in the world, these leaders never met because they're different camps. Their people said, get together. Finally, they kind of reluctantly got together. When they did, they formed a lifetime friendship. 24 hours before they met, they both had been visited by the Lord. The Lord told Cunningham that there are these, as he puts it now, 7 molders of culture that shape minds. They're mind molders. And he told them, those 7 that I just gave you, pretty much is how he ended up doing it. And then Bill Bright, the night before, the Lord spoke 7 world kingdoms and gave him the same 7. Here's what they were told. Tell your brother when you see him that if he can take those kingdoms, he can have the harvest of nations. Right. Okay. So they both came with a word for each other, and it was shocking when they both pulled out of their pockets. It's almost like like Close Encounters thing where everybody's getting the same vision. They both had similar vision, but they had them listed in sequence. What I did was, when I heard that story, I felt that the Lord had given me a responsibility to make it more viral. So I converted those from mind molders and spheres and world kingdoms into mountains, because I think climbing a mountain is a better metaphor you could see for getting to the top of something.
Okay, fantastic. Just 1.5 minutes left. So how does this tie in with doing mission in the post-Christian paradigm? Obviously, Britain is very, very secular here. America is slightly different, but you're not massively behind. We're in this kind of post-Christian paradigm. So how is this getting this paradigm shift, you might call it, key to the re-evangelization of Britain and America and other Western nations?
Oh, it's the only hope we've got. I'll be audacious and say it's the only hope we've got, because if we don't give Jesus to the world in the language they speak, then we're going to be limited to the small audience we've had. So what this gospel of the kingdom does is it allows us to evangelize, but it adds to it this dimension where you aren't limited to just evangelizing to make a convert. You can evangelize culture, and you can evangelize culture without making Jesus a debate point. And the way that you do that is you look at those other spheres, all those spheres, and realize that there is a way that God would administrate truth or freedom or love or compassion into any of those realms. And you as a believer, you get to interpret how to unpack the teaching of Jesus into your sphere. Where you do it in business, you'll prosper. Where you do it in education, you're going to tap into God's wisdom. Where you do it in government, you're going to solve problems that no one else can solve. Because basically, you're asking the Lord to reveal to you the strategies to bless that domain. Is that part of the...
This is calling to the end, the 5-minute interview. I think you said it fantastically, succinctly there.
You know, the word in Greek for phone is the word calling.
Yeah.
And God wants you to be called into those mountains. That's the divine interruption. Calling is phono. Phone. God's calling you.
We agree. Lance, it's been really inspirational having you here, and we look forward to having you here in the future. We feel that we found a kindred spirit in you. Dr. Lance Wallnau, thank you for coming to the Center of Christian Leadership.
Very much.
5 minutes with